That Roach may be the most skillful fighter you have fought in your career. Do you agree with that assessment, and how would you rate Roach's skills?
I agree. I totally agree. He got good skills. That's why he's here. You know what I mean?
I don't really care too much about the outside critics. I know what I could do in the ring, and that's the only thing that matters, honestly, is that I go out and give it my all and perform. And most likely, 9 times out of 10, when I do that, I'll be victorious.
At their first press conference for the upcoming rematch, Gervonta "Tank" Davis and Lamont Roach brought serious tension to Las Vegas. The energy in the room showed just how important this fight is for Tank. Leonard Ellerbe and Calvin Ford also made their return to join him at the main table, each taking a moment to speak to the audience before the fighters. When it was Lamont Roach's turn to step up, he kept it brief, thanking everyone present and promising to deliver an even stronger showing in the rematch.
Tank.
I take that compliment very well, and it lets me know that he is 100% focused, and that he gonna bring his A game. That's what's all a part of this. Is gonna make it a great fight. That's what a lot of people are missing. That's what a lot of people don't get. So that's the thing right there. Like he's attentive, he's aware, and he know that, and that's part of that's what got him here.
I know I went up against the best version of Tank in our first fight, but I hope he comes back even sharper this time. I'm ready for whatever he brings on fight night, and believe me, I'll be bringing more too, Roach said as he made his way back to his seat earlier. Leonard Ellerbe, one of the most vocal members of Gervonta Davis's team, spoke before Roach and stressed that Tank was dealing with personal challenges during their last fight and that Lamont had faced a distracted version of him.
Say Tank Davis. We gonna see. He's gonna let you know. There are a few things on the table, so we'll see what happens.
In your opinion, does Gervonta Davis versus Shakur Stevenson ever happen?
Of course. Why not? Why not?
That's the fight the world.
I'm not taking anything away from Lamont, but the Tank you saw in March wasn't the real Tank. He was going through a rough time and needed us around, but we weren't there, and that's what cost us. Now it's not just Tank making a comeback, it's the whole team returning stronger and more focused. I honestly don't think Lamont will even hear the final bell once the pressure hits him. In response, a big part of Lamont Roach's comeback focused directly on what Leonard Ellerbe had said.
So when they got active, do you go into a press conference like, I'm trying to make a movie or I'm trying to match energy? Like, what's your approach to a press conference?
Be chilling, like how we all right now. You hear me? Like I be in my element. 9 times out of 10, I'm thinking about the fight and what I'm gonna do. But
when it was Tank Davis's turn to speak, he had a rare serious look on his face, showing he's all business this time. It's clear he's learned from the past and is fully locked in to avoid making the same mistakes again. Thank you to everyone who's still believing in me. I've grown, I've learned, I know what it feels like to be at the bottom, but on August 16th things will be different. I'm letting loose the beast inside me for good.
I rule awakening. I rule awakening for sure. He just doing what he have to do, trying to psych himself out for the fight and things like that. But come March the 1st, it's all about skill versus skill, and who had the better skill that night is going to be the victorious person.
Many believe Gervonta Davis is entering this fight with revenge on his mind. After all, he was the favorite going in and had rarely gone the full distance in his career, only twice before. That's why most boxing fans view Davis as the one seeking payback, since Lamont Roach handed him a loss that stained his record.
Great talent, fighting on the card Saturday night. So I just want to be here and give it my all. I'm grateful and happy to be a part of this event and be able to be at this level in my career. So I want to just say thank y'all for coming out.
But the real story is that Lamont Roach was the one who got cheated in that fight. The draw only happened because the judges, the referee, the World Boxing Association, and the New York State Athletic Commission all played a part in some questionable decisions during the match. So if anyone has a reason to come for revenge, it's Lamont Roach, who had the biggest win of his career taken away because of carelessness and corruption within the sport.
You have to do to create enough separation where this don't happen again?
Whew, that's a good question. It's going to be based on my training camp. I have to push myself a little harder. If that didn't give me the win, and I have room. I definitely have room.
What makes this fight even more exciting is the chance it opens up for a trilogy, especially for Gervonta Davis, who has never had a rematch before. The idea of a 3-fight series adds a new layer of hype throughout his career. There's been talk of rematches with names like Ryan Garcia and Pitbull Cruz, but none of them ever happened until Lamont Roach stepped in and changed the game. Many believe this rematch will be just as close as the first one, since both fighters have similar technical skills. And fight IQ, and the real edge for Lamont Roach is his iron chin, which let him take Tank's hardest shots like they were nothing.
And crack you into, you know what I'm saying, you might end up on the floor. Everybody not built the same. And that's what people getting messed up. He did a whole lot of things that was good in that fight. A whole lot. And I'm telling you right now, if he wasn't as good of a fighter as he was, that would have been, you know what I'm saying? I would have steamrolled him. Don't get that misconstrued. He's still the guy he is. It's just he ran into a guy that's on the same level.
Tank's usual reliance on knockout power might not work in this rematch. If he wants a real shot at winning, he'll need to stick to boxing and find a way to outsmart Lamont Roach in the ring. Lamont is a tough fighter who doesn't go down easily. Unlike many of Tank's past opponents, it was actually Tank who got clipped by one of Lamont's hooks in their first fight. Lamont likes to stay in close and fight in the pocket right in the heat of the action, and that's a serious challenge for Tank, who's more used to opponents backing off when he starts throwing punches.
When you lock up, is he strong? Too small. Tell that man too small, bro. Y'all in the same weight class.
That's a new weight class for me. A new weight class for me.
That's what I'm saying. That night y'all was in the same weight class. And you still feel like you too small?
He was too small.
Dang.
You just calling a spade. No disrespect, no nothing. He was just too small. I've been in there with some big guys.
There's a lot to watch for in this rematch, and the recent face-off is just the start of a build-up that will keep growing until August, after one of the most talked about and controversial fights in recent memory between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach Jr. on March 1st. Fans across the boxing world have been eager to see them run it back and finally settle things after the first bout ended in a majority draw.
Tank won a rematch. Let me know now. Do you want to fight Tank again? He said he open to do a rematch. Do you want to fight Tank
100%.
again?
It's only a matter of time. We're gonna fight. We're gonna fight again. It's just whenever the fight gonna happen.
So it's gonna happen.
It's going to happen.
Okay. They say they want it in New York again. Do you want to fight again in the Barclays Center?
I wouldn't mind, but I'd love for it to be in DC.
Okay.
I'd love for it to be in DC.
It quickly became obvious that both camps wanted to make the rematch happen, and a post from Sports Illustrated's Chris Mannix confirmed it, saying a Tank vs. Roach rematch could happen as early as June 21st in Las Vegas, with both sides now fully on board with running it back. Now that the date and venue are nearly set, fans on social media have been debating who will come out on top in the second fight. Some are backing Roach, like one user who shared 2 photos from their first bout and wrote, "Roach is beating that guy again, mate."
I just so happen to be a boxing fan that the fact that I do watch him fight, you know what I'm saying? Like I really like boxing.
Are you open to immediate rematch?
In my contract, immediate rematch was signed. I signed for the immediate rematch when I signed for the first fight.
Right.
Just in case he lost or just in case it was a draw.
So when you got a rematch clause, how long we taking?
It's up to the A side and when they want to fight. So I'm thinking it's gonna be soon. I'm hoping it's gonna be soon. Let's say that.
What is soon to you? When you say soon to me, I'm thinking a month.
I'm thinking July.
I'm thinking July for sure.
Another fan shared a gif of a cockroach holding a lightsaber, showing clear support for Roach. On the other side, many are backing Davis to take the win this time. One fan said, "I thought Roach edged the first fight 115-113, but I think Tank will adjust and win the rematch." Another added, "Roach will definitely be competitive, but Tank is knocking him out in the later rounds." As the expected rematch date approaches, the excitement and buzz around the fight just keeps growing.
That was the first fight in a long time when Tank first started. His body was that defined. You see how his body looked?
As for the first fight, it was expected to be just another easy night for Gervonta Davis and his team. From the moment the matchup with Lamont Roach was announced, Team Davis didn't show any signs of worry. Roach was well known, had a solid record, and held a title, but was still seen as the smaller guy and a clear underdog. But from the opening bell, Roach fought like he had a point to prove. He boxed smart from the outside, and even when Davis forced him to trade on the inside, he handled it without any trouble.
In that DMV area, there's a lot of talent, and nobody wants to lose. Nobody wants to lose. So I knew it was going to be a hard fight. This has been going on forever. We all help each other. They know our strengths. They know our secrets. We know theirs, and vice versa. So that is what made for.
By the time the final bell rang, the crowd at Brooklyn's Barclays Center was left stunned. After 36 minutes of all-out action, no one could tell who would get the win. As the judges added up the scores, Team Davis waited calmly, but the smiles on their faces slowly faded when the result was announced. For the first time in his pro career, Davis had to settle for a majority draw, walking away without a clear victory. Backstage, he sank into his chair while his team, including Barry Hunter, shook their heads in disappointment. Hunter, who had stepped in as lead trainer with Calvin Ford out, felt the judges got it wrong, and from where he stood, Davis had a real battle on his hands.
Having a fight, Well, I knew he would be hungry. I knew he was going to fight extremely hard. I told you earlier, Lamont Roach was never a cheat date. So we knew that going into this fight. I thought there were opportunities when we were inside. We should have took advantage of a few things on the inside. But for the most part, this was a fight based on strategy. This was a fight.
There's no need to sugarcoat it. Barry Hunter truly believes that in the final rounds Davis turned a tight fight into a clear. When speaking to ES News, he said, "We respect the other side, but I felt the last 2 rounds made the difference. I thought we did enough to get it done. The only real hope for Gervonta Davis in the rematch is if he takes his training as seriously as he promised after the fight following the disappointing draw with Lamont Roach." Davis admitted he'd only take a week off to rest before jumping right back into camp.
What's going through your mind when you heard the decision?
Nobody like a draw, from a guy that get knockouts and things like that, but it's cool. I feel like if we fight again, I could do more, and I should have did more. I was lost in I lost track in the rounds. That's why we need what is it called? Yeah.
No matter what's going on with Gervonta Davis right now, boxing fans are fired up for the rematch with Lamont Roach. This time people are expecting Davis to back up the promise he made to Roach when he said, "I'm gonna chop Bob and weave. I'm ending it in the 9th round. I like proving people wrong. They show up with all the hype, but I let my actions do the talking. Even when I won my first title, the whole arena didn't believe in me."
I didn't know what round it was. Facts.
Tank, Eric Blum from DailyMail.com. First off, your coach just said, can you confirm, did you get your hair done 2 days before the fight?
Yeah. I ran water over it today, but I must ain't do it enough.
Can you describe what the feeling was like in the ring?
But let's look at how it all played out. 5-time 3-division world champion Gervonta Davis made his return to the Barclays Center, the same venue where he set records in May 2022 for the biggest crowd and highest earnings after his knockout win over Rolando Romero. At the press conference leading up to the rematch, Davis and Roach reignited their long-standing rivalry from their amateur days, and both promised an explosive fight when they step into the ring again.
I say 9th round.
What?
I say 9th round.
You said 9th?
Yeah.
What's your response to that, Lamont?
Look, he got scared. Look. He looked at night.
I'm telling you.
I said 9th round. What did I say? 9th round. You heard me, Davis repeated while pointing at Lamont, then added, "Look, he got scared. Look, he looked at you." The crowd responded to the energy as Davis continued, "The energy here is amazing. I won my first title in this building and I've got more fans in New York than almost anywhere. New Yorkers bring that real energy." He gave Lamont credit, saying he's got skills even at a lower weight class. "He's one of the guys I came up with in boxing and he's still going strong. He's a top-level opponent and people will see that on March 1st, but we're going to test his chin. He might think my past opponents didn't have one, but we'll find out." I say, "Leave the kids at home." Lamont Roach responded confidently, saying, "I wouldn't be here if I didn't believe I could win. I've hurt everyone I've faced in the ring and this fight won't be any different."
Going down in the 9th? You know that power curry late.
I know you got some sneaky power. That's what I do know.
What?
Who said that? You said what? You said what?
This is a huge opportunity and we're going to make the most of it. Everyone knows what I bring to the ring, and if you don't, you're in for a surprise. I'm going to show what happens when 2 real fighters go head to head. My team has been with me since day one. We built my career from the ground up and took every fight that made sense for my growth. I worked my way up to become the #1 contender, lost a fight and came back stronger. We both fought Hector Luis Garcia and I beat him with no trouble. The last fight was pretty easy for him, but that's because Frank was inexperienced and nervous. This time it's going to be different. When I step in the ring, he'll be facing a whole different kind of fighter.
Was it to get the towel out, to get the burn out of your eyes, or what was going on? And
I didn't want to get caught. I didn't want to get caught while my eyes was burning. And like, you can get knocked out like that. So I'd rather take the knee than, But I didn't really know that you can like get disqualified for all that. Or like when you start counting, I'm like, what the hell? But I don't know. It's cool.
Do you want that rematch next? And if so, how likely?
Fighting each other in the amateurs is nothing like fighting now. We've both grown, improved, and changed our styles. There might be a few habits we recognize from the past, but I don't think those will matter when it's time to perform on the big stage. I'm not concerned about being the underdog or the favorite. Either way, I'm coming to win. There's been a lot of talk about Tank's decision to face me, and when I got my chance to speak at the podium, I made sure to let everyone know exactly how I feel about it.
How much you want back? How much you want it back? Because I came up here alone. How much y'all want back? How much you want back? Just cut it out. Huh? 100? That's a bet.
How much you want to bet? How much you really want to bet? I came up here alone, so how much y'all want to put on it? Just cut it out. Alright, 100, that's a bet. Roach fired off before shifting into serious mode. This is a huge opportunity and we're going to take full advantage of it. Everyone knows what I'm here to do, and if you don't, then you're in for a surprise. I know Tank won't be surprised, though. I think he took this fight not just for the critics, but because deep down he knows I'm a dog and he wants to test himself against that kind of pressure, and I'm going to show what happens when two dogs step into the ring together, and believe me, I'm the one coming out on top. Then it was Tank's turn. I'm excited to be part of this, and when March 1st comes, it'll be a great event. Right now I'm not really in the mood to talk too much or get into it, but come fight night it's going to be a show. Same outcome, we just have to wait and see. We've got 3 months to prepare, so it's going to be a good one.
In your next fight?
He have skills. Even though he's at a smaller weight class, I feel as though Lamont have, and he's someone that's one of the guys that I actually started with and came out with.
Afterward, Davis showed respect to Roach, acknowledging their shared history and the shift in outcome from their amateur days. Lamont's a great fighter, he's got the skills like I've said before, and he's got the power too, Davis admitted, now having to accept a draw in the pros despite beating Roach twice in the amateurs.
During this fight here, you showed the world that you didn't back down, because of course leading into the fight, folks were saying, oh, Tank's opponents get intimidated and everything like that, but of course, like you said in the press conference, you ready to boogie. Because you already knew what it was, between you and Tank. So
it wasn't really hard for me to focus because all I had to do was do what I normally do. And I know that was going to surprise or shock or shut everybody up.
Paulie, what I'm curious about, you talked earlier in the fight, we're discussing this before we went on air, you talked about the scoring criteria of a lot of the judges went with Gervonta Davis early on in the fight. You thought that was unfair, inappropriate. You didn't score it that way at all.
Well, I feel like a lot of times there's this misconception.
For Gervonta Davis, it was a learning experience. He didn't shy away from admitting it while giving credit to Lamont Roach and his team. Davis said, hopefully we can run it back in New York. Let's do it again, baby. Roach, clearly proud of his performance, agreed that there's still unfinished business between them. He also praised Davis as a great fighter and thanked him for the chance to prove himself to everyone who doubted him. That's all for now. For the latest updates, highlights, and moments from the boxing world, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn on notifications so you never miss out on top quality content. Until next time, peace.